I'm going to be continuing with Great Uncle Ernest's first diary, and I'll be starting with Sunday, November 24th. But first, I thought I would show you these cutout figures that I had found inserted into this diary. Looks like a little guy that might be a bit upset, and maybe looks like he might be talking to the teacher, ready to give her an apple. But I have Googled to find out what they may be or what they're from, but I'm coming up empty. So if anyone does have any ideas, please feel free to message me. So Sunday, November 24th. I was to church and Sunday school today. A little snow and rain has fallen today. Monday, November 25th. Sleighing is here now. I saw very few buggies on the road today. There is a good bottom snow owing to the fall of rain yesterday. Tuesday, November 26th. I went to town in the cutter today and saw that the threshing was at Mr. Frain's. This evening, Katie Allen is having a party to which Alice was invited. I went up after her and stayed there some time. While there were many pleasant games played, such as Fortune, Going to Jerusalem, Author, etc., popcorn and candy and apples were distributed among the guests. When tired of all these things, Katie played several pieces on the organ, such as Only a Bird in a Gilded Cage, The Maple Leaf Forever, Marching Through Georgia, etc. Wednesday, November 27th. Paul was at Mr. T. Moody's threshing this morning and Alex Abercrombie's in the afternoon. I went to town and went home by Uncle Alfred's to let him know about our threshing. Thursday, November 28th. This is Thanksgiving Day, and we threshed today. We did not get done, although I think we would have, not something got into the mill, which left us back for more than an hour. Uncle Alfred cut bands. Friday, November 29th. We finished threshing about 9:30 this morning, and then I took the thresher tanks up to Mr. Bourne's. Saturday, November 30th. Lloyd and I went to the mill with a small grist today. Sunday, December 1st. Pa and Ma were at church today. Mr. George Barry died today. Monday, December 2nd. This is Queen Alexandria's birthday. I was up to the shop today with Maud. The snow is almost all away, except some on the fence corners. It has turned cold tonight. Tuesday, December 3rd. It is quite cold today. Pa and Ma went to Mr. Barry's funeral this afternoon. Johnny Finnan came by this afternoon after an absence of about 6 years. Wednesday, December 4th. The weather still continues to be very severe. Today is the first day of the Perth Poultry Fair. A great many people are coming here for their checks. Pa and I were doing some repairs on the pig pen. Thursday, December 5th. This is the last day of the poultry fair. Pa went to town and says that very few fowl were in. Mr. Brash and Mary were over tonight. Friday, December 6th. Johnny Finnan went away today. Uncle Johnny James was here today, and Pa went away with him. Saturday, December 7th. This is Communion Saturday, and Pa and Ma went to church. Several joined the church, they said. Sunday, December the 8th. This is Communion Sunday, and I went to church with Pa and Ma in the buggy. This afternoon it began to snow, and if it continues to snow all night, there will be sleighing in the morning. Monday, December the 9th. Alas, the snow turned to rain this morning, and all chance of sleighing has again disappeared for the present. Pa was cleaning Timothy seed today and has a fair quantity of good seed. Tuesday, December the 10th. Everything is coated in ice today. Pa was cleaning oats today, and they're turning out very poorly. Wednesday, December the 11th. Pa and I killed a 2-year-old heifer today and got along very well. Grandpa Poole came up today and brought Alice James up with him, and she is going to stay for a few days. Thursday, December the 12th. Paul went to Richie's sawmill for a load of slabs for the school. Friday, December the 13th. This morning I went to the school with the load of slabs and helped Pa unload them. After that, I went up to Mr. John Allen's and helped Uncle Johnny James and Archie down with a beef heifer. This evening I went up to Uncle Alex Moody's for the 2 girls who had gone up on a visit. Alice, Edna, and I all came home in a single buggy. Saturday, December the 14th. It rained almost incessantly all day today. The sleighing is entirely gone, and much of the frost is out of the ground. Sunday, December 15th. The rain turned to snow, and there is now a larger amount of snow on the ground than there has been before. We did not go to church today, but Uncle Johnny came up for Alice today. Monday, December 16th. It is very cold today. Pa and I took the old straw pen away to the swamp. Tuesday, December 17th. The weather is still very severe. I took some grain to Mr. Moody's and Mr. Hogan's on the stone bolt this morning. This afternoon, Pa and Ma went to town. Wednesday, December 18th. Pa and Ma were away today over to Harper on school business, intending to call at Mr. Butler's for tea, and it was quite late when they returned home. December 19th. Pa went up to see the auditor of the factory books today and found that he had made very few mistakes, and those few made little difference or no difference in the work. December 20th. The school closed today, and Alice and I went there to see the closing. Most of the pupils had invitations. The teacher treated the pupils to taffy, and after all the rest was over, May Hogan and Norrell Moody went up to the teacher, and May gave her an address, while Norrell gave her a little present, which was a beautiful album. This afternoon, Pa and us boys took a load of feed out of the stable loft, as it did not please the horses. December 21st. Pa and Ma went to town today and took Leslie, Alec, and Harold in with them. There were many people in, although it was very cold today. Today was the shortest day of the year. December 22nd. They went to church today in the sleigh. The road was not as good owing to the thaw. December 23rd. It continued to thaw today, and much of the snow went away. Pa has been sharpening his axes, preparing to starting to chop. December 24th. It's Christmas Eve. This afternoon, Pa and us 3 oldest went to town and bought a hymn book for Pa and a tray and tea urn for Ma. We spent a most enjoyable time from our entry into town until that of our departure. Before I retired tonight, I hung my stocking on the cellar door, expecting to find it filled by morning. December 25th. Christmas Day is here at last. This morning I received the book entitled Swiss Family Robinson, a pair of gloves, a bow, some candy, and other confectionery. This afternoon I went skating with the other boys and spent a pleasant time. December 26th. Christmas is past. This morning Lloyd and I went down to the Ferry Road Creamery with our milk, taking A. Abercrombie's and Mr. T. Moody's. This afternoon we went to the mill. Today was the day of the annual meeting at the school for the appointment of trustee and the doing of other business. Paul was trustee for 6 years and went out today, Mr. Constant being appointed in his stead. December the 28th. Lloyd and I went down to Uncle Johnny James yesterday and came home today. This is the first time either of us stayed away from home for a night. We hitched up 2 oxen to a kind of bobsleigh and made them go to the field. Norman Poole was there also, so we had good sport. Today Uncle John brought a stack into the stable loft. After that first load was started, we boys went hunting. On our return, we fell a tree, and then seeing a hand cart along the tracks, we went down and took a ride. Uncle Johnny brought in a haystack this morning and then brought us into town in the afternoon, where we were glad to meet Pa and Ma. December 30th. Yesterday, a great deal of snow fell, which tended to make the sleighing much better, as it was somewhat poorer in places before. I was at church yesterday and heard Mr. Potter speak. For years he has been working among sailors and lumbermen for the advancement of the gospel. Today Pa and I killed 3 pigs while the other lads did the chores, and were done in time to have a late dinner. December 31st. Today was spent in pleasure. Mr. and Mrs. E. Armour came today, bringing Isabel, Ronald, and Wilfred with them. Afterwards, Uncle George arrived, bringing Alice and Edna with him. We had a pleasant time together. This year ends with tonight, and ere we retire to rest again, we shall have entered another year. So I'm going to finish there for today, December 31st, 1901. My next video will be starting the new year, 1902. I enjoy reading so much about my great uncle's life. It sounds like he had so much fun, from riding hand carts to going to parties to hitching those oxen up to a bobsleigh. He sounds like he just had an amazing life, and I'm very, very happy that I'm able to do these videos and share his life and share the diaries with other family members and any one of those of you who are interested. So I just want to mention a few things from his diary. First of all, Alice, she was Ernest's older sister. She was the oldest child and only girl in the family, so she would be my great aunt. She was older than Ernest by only 1 year. She was born October 21st, 1888. The two are quite close. You'll kind of see that as I go into his future diaries. They'd often go places together. I know she married Herb Miller, and she named her son, I think it was her firstborn, she actually named her son Ernest. And then there was Lloyd, and that would be again my great uncle Lloyd, and he was 3 years younger than Ernest. He was born January the 26th, 1890. And then I also did a little bit of research on the games that Ernest and Alice played when they went to the party that he mentioned. So first of all, there was going to Jerusalem, and it seems that this was a children's party game of the late 1800s, and it was actually the original name of musical chairs. So according to one theory, it was named this because it was inspired by the Crusades, where heavy losses were incurred. And then the other one was Fruit Basket, and this was also a musical games type of musical chairs type of game, where each player is given the name of a fruit. And a person stands in the middle. They call out 2 fruit names, such as apple and peach, and then all the players with those fruit names have to stand up and quickly exchange seats and not be left standing without a seat. And then the person in the middle can also call tip the fruit basket, and then everyone has to move at that time. Now, I could not find any information on the game's fortune or author, and again, feel free to message me if you have any idea or any knowledge of what those may be. Otherwise, I will see you on my next video, and that'll be reading history number 3, starting in the new year in 1902.